will receive our game sound or the sound we want to put on our stream. And this software can then send it to our hardware out. In this case, there we will in a second select our speakers or a headset, for example. You can select up to 2 devices in Voicemeeter. So you just grab the installer right here, install everything, and afterwards reboot the computer. And on the next boot, through the start menu, for example, you can then start Voicemeeter. The first thing we want to do is add our hardware output. In this case, I can select my speakers. You can select them as Windows driver mode, kernel server, or MME driver.
What the fuck? Hvad er det der VDM, og så er der også hernede i MME, what the fuck er det, man? Og alt det der pisse, hvorfor er der så for meget at vælge imellem? Højtaler. Hvad siger han?
In my case, under Windows 10, the MME version worked best for me. If you encounter any problems with your audio quality, for example, you might want to try a different input. So now, as you can see, Voicemeeter is already configured to send the virtual input to my hardware output. So I'm currently listening to music. You can't hear it because there's a different PC, but believe me, as you can see, music is playing. This is this right here.
Lad os bare lige prøve her. Hvad siger han her?
Pause it real quick. It should go down. And at the moment, the music is also being sent to my speakers, because this little button here is active. And now play the music again. You can see the virtual input is not going to my main out. The main out in this case represents the A1 and A2, so the selected devices. This means at the moment, if this would be, for example, my game input, you yourself would not hear the game input, but it would still be heard on stream if you configure your streaming software properly, which we will do in a second. So if you want to listen to the game,
Hola, Señor Holger.
Hola. I'm trying to fix my sound, so sorry for my stream. It's on Fortnite gaming. I'll be playing Fortnite again later. I'll just have to fix the sound.
the virtual audio mixer, as you can see right
Hero
here.
Yuki 78.
Better screenshot.
Ola Gardito.
It allows you. And on the next boot, this means at the moment, if this would be, for example, my game input, you yourself would not hear the game input, but it would still be heard on stream if you configure your streaming software properly, which we will do in a second. So if you want to listen to the game input, always make sure that this little button here is green. And that's pretty much all we need to do in the voice meter configuration. One last thing we have to do is make sure it starts every time with Windows, so it's always active for us.
Hiroyuki
We
78.
can
Elmwerto Fortnite.
the other buttons for the moment, as we don't use the other devices, so it's only copying the one virtual input to our speakers. But the important thing is to click on the menu button once and activate the system tray option. So voice meter will for once show up in the taskbar down here, bottom right. But it will also start on your next Windows start, so you will have sound available right away. Now we can, for the moment, pause the music and go into the Windows audio settings for a second. Because here we have to configure one thing, and this is we have to make sure voice meter, the voice meter input in this case, is our default playback device. So as you can see at the moment, the speakers are the default device, but we want voice meter to be the default device. So it will receive all sound from our games,
Hiroyuki 78.
as well as browser
Leonard.
sounds like YouTube and similar stuff.
Hej Leonard.
This is it for this. And now in our streaming software, we just have to make sure that it will record the voice meter virtual input.
Ja.
So in OBS, for example,
kan du stadig...
we go into the
Jeg har overhovedet
settings
ikke fået lavet noget.
and
Om det
audio,
går bare, det lige tager et
and
stykke
make
tid
sure
for
for
at
your
sætte
desktop
noget op
audio
her.
device, the voice meter input is selected.
At
As
få
long
til at
as
virke. Jeg
it's
skal
the
virkelig koncentrere
default
mig om, det
playback
kan jeg godt nok
device in
mærke.
Windows,
Så
the default selection right here
jeg
should
kan
be
bare lige
fine
skrive,
too,
hvis
but
det
if
er,
you want to make sure
når
that
jeg
it's
tror, jeg får
working,
det sat derop, hvis du ikke
just
gider
select
kigge
voice
på det.
meter directly. And now OBS will also just
Hiroyuki
record
78.
anything that is
Heck
sent
yeah.
to the default playback device in Windows. So
Great.
if we now want to remove the music, for example, from our stream, we just have to configure our music player once. And in this case, to directly output to our speakers. So we click apply and start the music. And as you can see, neither in voice meter nor in OBS the music is showing. And the same can be done, for example, in your Skype settings. The audio settings, just make sure your speakers are not the voice meter input, but the speakers of your system in this case. And Skype will not be on your stream. In Discord you can do the same. Let me make the window a bit bigger. Just make sure for your
Hiroyuki
voice
78.
settings, the
Lapisal
output
hype.
device
Hey
in
guys.
this case also is your speakers. And any one you can hear on Discord will not be heard on stream. And so on. It can pretty much be done in any application that allows you to select the output device. So applications that don't offer this option, as I mentioned, a browser, for example, so YouTube and similar stuff, a music player in a browser, do not offer us the option to select the audio device. But as long as the device offers, the software, offers us the option to select the audio device, we can directly send it to our speakers through its settings, and everything else will go to our virtual input. And the virtual input will then be recorded by our streaming software, so only the game and browser sound will be sent out.
Kan du høre mig på Twitch? Lytter du på Twitch, Lennart? Og kan du høre mig, og kan du høre min musiklyd, når jeg afspiller den om 3, 2, 1, nu? Pause, hurtigt over på Twitch. Den kan man godt høre. Okay, over på Twitch. Okay, godt nok. Aha. Okay.
Kan du finde ud af det? Eller er det meget, meget svært?
Jeg synes, det er rimelig svært. Der er nok nogen, der synes, det er let. Men min hjerne, den er også ved at være lidt træt, kan jeg mærke. Jeg ved ikke, om du kan se mig på... Om du følger på mig på Twitch. Træt, kan jeg mærke. Okay, og jeg har lyd på det. Jeg ved ikke, om du kan se mig. Okay, godt nok. Men kan vide, om der så er lyd på Restream. Kan vide, om der så er lyd på Restream. Kan vide, om der så er lyd på Restream. Nej. Yep, jeg kommer nu. Nå, men tak for hjælpen, Lennart. Vi snakkes ved senere. Jeg bliver nødt til lige at opgive det her. Prøv at vende tilbage. Prøv igen en anden dag. Men jeg kommer på, når jeg får det løst. For jeg gider ikke have de der streams og alle de der lyde, at de kommer ind på min chat. Så jeg vil lige løse det først. Det må have en god aften. Hej.